All right, race fans, welcome to TurnLeftTV. You ready for some high-speed action tonight? Step on the gas.
All right, race fans, welcome to Homestead-Miami Speedway. This is TurnLeftTV, and I'm your host, Heath Johnson. The High Octane Racing League Buschwackers Series hits Homestead tonight for race number 2 of a brand new season. It's a 100-lap race, and this track is a blast, baby. Who's got what it takes to win in sunny Florida? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's watch it right here on TurnLeftTV. Well, a little Buschwackers action, a little Xfinity Series race number 2 of the season. It's a 100-lap race. It's Homestead. It's sunny Miami. Let's get this party started. All right, thank you so much for joining me here on TurnLeftTV. And a good one here for you tonight. A little Florida action for you. Sunny Miami. Thank you so much for joining me here on TurnLeftTV. I'm your host, Heath Johnson, broadcaster and commentator here at TurnLeftTV, owner of High Octane Racing League. And we got a good one here for you. 100-lap race, man. Race number 2, brand new season. And that first race of the season was fantastic, man. And I think this was going to be just as good. Homestead, always a fun track. It's round number 2 of a 10-race season. Right now, these guys are in the practice session. Getting their laps in, figuring it out. Tonight's race is brought to you by EliteHostingUSA.com. Are you interested in an rFactor 2 server? Well, there are 3 self-managed server packages for you to choose from. That is EliteHostingUSA.com. How about hosting your website, your online store, some VPS hosting, or shared web hosting? Those also available through EliteHostingUSA.com. And that's who provides our service here at HighOctaneRacing.net. Get schedule updates. Don't forget to join us over there. Schedule updates, what series we happen to be running. We do all kinds of different racing, man. Indy cars, GT3, BTCC, multi-class, trucks, 2 different series of stock cars, Xfinity and the Cup. And you get a quick link to TurnLeftTV. You get all the schedules. Also, a quick link to our Discord server. That's where we do most of our business at HighOctaneRacing.net. Thank you so much for joining me here on the YouTube channel. Thanks to all those new subscribers. My heavens, man. I feel like I'm in heaven, baby. I'm almost getting to 900 here. Wow. I feel like Aerosmith. Hey, if you'd like, man, what would be great is if you hit that thumbs up button, smash the subscribe button, and oh, so gently massage that bell. You get updates when races are going live here at TurnLeftTV. And thanks for all my friends and my students and whomever else happens to be subscribed here. All those anonymous people out there subscribed to TurnLeftTV. Love it. I would encourage you to go down in the description of the race. If you'd like to make a donation to TurnLeftTV, you can make it through the PayPal link. Also, I'm a SimLab affiliate. If you'd like to purchase something through SimLab, please use my link. I would love that. Again, thanks for joining me here on TurnLeftTV. As always, a lot of fun. Have a lot of fun doing this stuff, and it's always a bonus when people come out and actually watch the races. Still in business. I'm not making enough money to retire, but I may just retire anyway. And a new driver here with us tonight, man. Gaston Lucursi joining us. He's going to be in the 3X car tonight, so welcome to him. Not exactly sure where he's from. I'm thinking maybe Italy-ish, somewhere like that. So I'm sure he'll tell me. He sent me a message here earlier on Discord, so welcome to Gaston. Some more racing headed your way this weekend, man. We will be at Phoenix tomorrow night for race number 2, 120 laps from sunny Phoenix. Man, it's sunny everywhere. Sunny in Florida, sunny in Phoenix. Is it sunny in Indiana? Well, it was today. But no, we'll be at Phoenix tomorrow. That is in the Cup Series. I'll get out of the broadcast booth, get in the driver's seat, and get beat up by these guys, man. And race 2, brand new season. Going to be a lot of fun. Phoenix is a lot of fun, especially in these Cup cars, too. Really have a lot of fun driving these, so I've been racing with some of these guys for a long, long time. So that's coming up tomorrow, Saturday Night Thunder. Take a look at the track here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Wouldn't it be nice to be in Miami, Florida right now? Oh my gosh. 1.5 miles in length, 2.4 kilometers. Banking, 18 to 20 degrees progressive banking, man. Just enough to make this track just super fun. Straightaways at 3 degrees of banking, long straights, and these really, really smooth transition corners, man. There's a lot of room to race here. I think the high line is in play tonight here at Homestead. But a fun track. Great mile and a half, located in Miami, Florida. Actually, Homestead, Florida, but Homestead, Miami, Florida. My keys to the race tonight are limit that aggressive driving, man. This will reach out and bite you if you get too aggressive. Make sure you manage your tires, as they can be a little bit tough on tires, especially in traffic. Handle that traffic, manage that traffic. Make friends with the traffic. Make good pit stops here, too, especially under green flag conditions. Always key to make good pit stops, but especially under green flag conditions. And then know when to go here at Homestead. Thanks to all those new subscribers out there. Look, Givaldo already showing up in the chat, chatting up, or getting us ready. As always, I beat him in here today, man. I said, welcome, race fans, and then Givaldo shows up. So he says, well, welcome to Heath Johnson. Man, Givaldo's such a great guy. He really is. Got a high-octane racing league hat. And, I haven't forgotten about you, Jesus. I know you're out there. He's racing tonight, but I haven't forgotten you. I got your hat packaged up. It's in my Jeep. I just got to make it over to the post office. Send that baby your way. High Octane Racing League Tough Trucks will be back in action from Iowa, the cornfields of Iowa, for race number 9 of a 10-race season. Winding down that season in the Tough Trucks. That's coming up on Tuesday, November the 12th. And another one of those series that I get out of the broadcast booth, get in the driver's seat, and make it happen, man. And Iowa is a fun track. Kudos to Alex Cootie for making this track, too. It's a lot of fun, especially in the trucks. That's coming up this Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Looks like we are going to the qualification session. A little bit of a light field right now. I suspect we're going to have some more people come in maybe during the warm-up session. So warm up, the qualification session starting here in just a few moments. We'll see who goes out first here. We got Gordon on the, looks like Eugene Fedorov actually is the first car out here on the track. So he's going to get his laps in. 84 car, one of our great Russian drivers. Mixing it up with us here. Eugene, good friend of mine, sends me pictures. I was just showing my kids at school pictures of his dog and his two wonderful kids. That it already had snowed where Eugene's lives, I should say. So love when those guys share some personal photos and stuff like that with me. Let me know what their family's like, what they're doing, and so forth. So he really seems to be a great dad. A lot of trips out into the wilderness there with the kids, and let them enjoy the nature and so forth. See what Eugene's time is. 32.225 is the time to beat Eugene Fedorov with that first lap. Let's take a look at Artur Vieta in the 4. NASCAR BR sponsored machine. So Fedorov with top time, 32.225. But Vieta in that first sector, fast. Second sector, a little bit off the pace. Not too much. I think he's still in the blue overall. Let's see where this lap ends up. Sean Jacobs down to the top of the grid with a 1-2-1 and 8:04, 31.804 by Artur Vieta. Wow. How about our new driver here, Gaston Lecursi? And hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right, Gaston Lecursi. See where he's at in his first race out here with us. 32.261, a little work to do there for Gaston, but I'm sure he'll take some dudes. How about you, Denis Shuderchin, my brother? Lives in Kharkiv, Ukraine. Always got him in our thoughts. And I've been knowing Dennis for a long time, man. Dennis racing the Indy cars and so forth. Artur Vieta back up to the top 31, 8:04. Let's see where Dennis is. 32.284. He's got a little work to do in that Toyota. A little bit of work to do there for him. Bardelli Jr. says, hey, I had some work to do too. You missed it on that lap. I'm down to the top of the grid here in this 19. Claudio Bardelli Jr., Team Samba. Let's see if we got the right stuff here for him. Oh, up into the wall there on lap number 2. Maybe he knew I was talking about him. Artur Vieta got DQ'd. I think it must be, maybe he went too many laps. Jesus Iglesias at the 22. The Spaniard. Bardelli Jr. with a 31.761. And Marizon not far behind in P2. Jesus Iglesias right now P11, but he has got to get that time lap in. Here we go. Down the backstretch. A little bit off the pace there in those two sectors. That second sector, though, was a little bit better. But he has got some work to do here in sector number 3. And let's see where he ends up. I think he's going to get a pretty good time, though. 32.432. Oh, P11, so he's got another lap to figure it out. Thiago Gomez in the 8X. See where Thiago lands. Well, Thiago looks like he is in P3. It's a good run there for him. 13/100ths off. Iglesias, let's go! 32.483 for Jesus. He's going to start in P11. Well, it looks like those guys all have qualified, except for Dan Richter. I'm not sure what Dan Richter's he's planning on coming out and qualifying. All right, there's about 4.5 minutes left to go really in quals, but these guys have all done their qual laps. So it looks like they're good to go there. And we'll give you the official results here in just a few minutes. And again, thanks for joining me here on TurnLeftTV. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. And if you're a first-time viewer, let's get this party started. All right, these guys technically still in the qualification session, about a minute left, although everybody has qualified. If you're just joining us, thank you so much for coming in and watching the race, whether it be live or on replay. We're Homestead-Miami Speedway tonight, a 100-lap race. It's race number 2 of the season, and this is a fun track, man. I'm not sure I could really nail down right now my favorite mile and a half. But Homestead is definitely up there, maybe 1, 2. I've had one of my greatest races ever at Homestead. So it's a fun track, and I think we're going to see some really good racing here tonight. A little bit of a smaller crowd compared to what we have had, but it's like 12 drivers. May have a couple more drivers. Usually we have about 16, 17 to 18 drivers joining us. Put a little bit of a low field here tonight, and we'll see how that works out for us. But again, thanks for joining us. Race 2. This is the Buschwackers Series. We do have a special event headed your way in the month of December, and that is the Frosty 200 annual event that we do here for our drivers here at High Octane Racing League. It's going to be an 80-lap race in Daytona, and it's going to be on a Friday night, December 27th, 2 days after Christmas. And somebody might get a little bit of a late Christmas present by winning that. And they'll get a $25 Steam gift card, and then of the drivers, we'll do 2 random drawings for $25 Steam gift cards. Those Buschwackers Series drivers are eligible to participate in this. So it'll start at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That'll be the qualifications, and the 9:15 will be race. 80-lap race in Daytona. It's the Frosty 200, and it'll be live December 27th right here on TurnLeftTV. So it doesn't look like we have finished the qual session. Everybody out there getting their laps in for a warm-up. Let's take a look at the session results. Claudio Bardelli Jr. qualifies in P1 with a 31.761. Craig Marzon starts in the second position. That's 60 car, 31.854. Tiago Gomez inside row 2. Gordon Carter outside row 2 in that 56. Dan Richter in the 65 will start in 5th. For you folks who are from Indiana in this local area where I live, Dan Richter happens to be a Purdue student. So I think he's living in that Lafayette area right now. He's from up north from Rochester, I believe. But a big Hoosier out here tonight, huh? Yeah. So take a look at that 65 car. He qualifies in 5th. He's going to be fast. You know that. Sean Jacobs in the 24 starts in 6th. Givaldo Spindola will start in the 7th position. Eugene Fedorov starts in the 8th position in that 84. Gaston Lacourci in his first race out with us, and he's in the 3X. He will start in 9th. And Dennis Schuderson starts in the 10th position in that 47 car. Starting in 11th will be Jesus Iglesias. Barbecue. Team Barbecue, baby. In that 22. And Archie Vieira will start. He got a DQ'd in the qual session, so he's going to start in P12. We're going to take a look at the schedule here in the Buschwackers Series. Of course, tonight we're at Homestead. Next week we'll be at Madison International Speedway. Wow, a different look here. I got a little bit of a funky schedule. Some of these guys were kind of thumbing their nose a little bit at the schedule because just sort of getting tired of racing the same tracks over and over again. So thought I'd throw some stuff in there, Madison being one of them. That's coming up next week. You see Phoenix after that on November the 22nd, just before Turkey Day here. Sonoma Raceway, a little road course, 40-lap race on November the 29th to finish out the first half of the season. And look at that back half, man. That's where it really gets outside the box there. We got Memphis, 135 laps on December the 6th. North Wilkesboro, 135 laps there on December 13th. Toledo Speedway, are you kidding me? 150 laps on December the 20th. And then, of course, as we just advertised, the Frosty 200 at Daytona, 80-lap race, a special event we do every Christmas. And that's coming up on December the 27th. And 90-lap race from California. I'm going back to Cali. Cali. I don't think so. Who sang that song? Kudos to anybody that can send me a message there in the chat and tell me who's saying going back to Cali. And that's coming up on January the 3rd. We're kicking it over just a little bit past the 2024, starting 2025 out with the end of the season. So that's the schedule. These guys out here get some laps in under practice, doing some drafting practice and so forth. Fun track, man. This really is a fun track. I've had a lot of fun, a lot of great races here at Homestead. You see the 56 there, Gordon Carter, in that high place moving spots machine. He and Dennis Udichin doing a little drafting practice. And speaking of Dan Richter surprised me with an amazing song specifically for TurnLeftTV. Here we go.
TurnLeftTV. 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 Your butts, cause this is gonna be a great show. Heath Johnson saying all you need to know. We got fast cars racing, hopefully you're pacing. Are you ready for some high-speed action? Step on the gas. Alright. Race fans, my heavens. My heavens. Buschwackers! Saturday night! Thunder! Tough trucks! Nascar! IndyCar! GT3!
All right, right now we are in the warm-up session. There's about 2.5 minutes left to go before we get the command to start the engines. Hey, if you'd like, man, check out the Sober Tom broadcast or podcast there. Sober Tom podcast. That is Claudio Bardelli Jr.'s podcast. He talks all things music. There's Claudio Bardelli Jr. right there. Let's see if I can get the driver box up here and it doesn't interfere with that. I think it's going to be close. Oh, there we go. Look at that, man. That's perfect, baby. Huh? What are we talking about? How about there's Claudio Bardelli Jr., man. He hosts or owns the Sober Tom podcast. And again, all things music talked about there by Claudio. He has some guests in and gets in some great conversations about music. So, fantastic friend of mine there, Claudio, a great dude. And we hope that podcast really takes off. You know, he's doing a great job, man. He's racing in the Sober Tom sponsor machine tonight, too. There you go, man. Least we could do there for Claudio. Such a great supporter here of High Octane Racing League. Jesus is in the Orange Crush sponsor machine. I painted that car for him, man. Oh, he's going back to the retro Orange Crush 22. How about that? Getting some practice in as these guys are got to use the access road under green flag conditions to get onto pit lane. So here we go, boys and girls. Here we go. Looks like the warm-ups are over. And we're getting ready to get this party started. So looks like we had a driver leave. Looks like he decided not to race. So down to 11 drivers here tonight. All right, here we go. And again, it's Homestead tonight. A great track. And let's get the starting order. Starting order tonight. Here at Homestead, Claudio Bardelli Jr. starts in P1. Craig Marzon starts in the second position. Gordon Carter starts third. Dan Richter starts in the fourth position. And that's 65. Starting in fifth in the 24 is Sean Jacob. Givaldo Spindler in the 68 starts sixth. Eugene Fedorov starts in the seventh position. Gaston LaCourcy in his first race elsewhere starts in the eighth spot. In ninth is Dennis Udich in the 47. Artur Vieta starts 10th. And Jesus Iglesias will start in P11 tonight. So going to be a good one, I think. Going to be a fun race. Don't forget my keys to the race here tonight. Limit that aggressive driving. Tire management, handle that traffic, manage that traffic, make good pit stops, and you got to know when to go, baby. So here we go. Pace car's off.
Green flag, go, go, go.
And we're off. Green here at Homestead. And the 19 taking that early lead there. He's got the pole there. Looks like Craig Marzon going to tuck into that Camaro. Good fight there for P2. P3, I should say. P4 now. As Gordon Carter, look at that, the 60 now down to the bottom side, and the 68 all the way up at the wall. Givaldo making contact with the wall. Givaldo at 68 pulled that car back off the wall, on board here with him. As the 65 up on the high side. Givaldo trying to figure out whether he can, he has a bunch of damage to that right side. He's going to have a little bit of damage. He scraped the wall pretty hard. Like Gordon Carter trying to figure out where he needs to be. As Dan Richter in his 65 Boom Boom Rub Sponsor machine. Up on the high side, and Givaldo down on that bottom side. Marizon has now taken the lead. He's gotten around Claudio Bardelli Jr. Frank Marizon, the Magpul Dynamics machine, is our new race leader. Givaldo still looking pretty frosty here with that 68 car battling. Givaldo says, hey, I know I got up to the wall, scraped the right side off a little bit, but I am fast here tonight. 19, Claudio Bardelli Jr. really using that outside line. Check in on our rookie here, the 3X, Gaston LaCourcy. This 3X car, he is showing some muscle here tonight too in his first race out. Showing that he knows how to drive a stock car. 84, Eugene Fedorov just ahead. We know Eugene knows how to drive that stock car. He has won a lot of races. Right now running in the 7th position. Take a look at Dennis Udichin and Jesus Iglesias battling here. For the 9th spot. Udichin gets that 9th spot, and is he going to be able to hold on to it? Is that Orange Crush sponsor number 22 falling back to the P10? Marizon continuing to lead. He has got about 3/10 on Claudio Bardelli Jr. Givaldo Spinola running in P3. Gordon Carter in the 4th position, the 56 car. Just behind him is Dan Richter in the 65. 24, Sean Jacobs running in the 6th spot. Gordon Carter in P4 in his 56 car. There's a lot of work for us on the side there as one of our board members. Our board members running together right there. The only 2 board members here tonight. Battle here is Gaston LaCourcy and Dennis Udichin battling. Udichin, the 47 on the bottom side of that Toyota, trying to get around the Chevy, the 3X of Gaston. Archie Vieta starting way back there in the back. Uncharacteristic for Archie Vieta in the 4 car, and he is battling Jesus Iglesias. Iglesias on the inside line. It looks like Archie Vieta is going to get around on the outside. This NASCAR BR sponsor machine. Gaston LaCourcy going to the high side as Archer Vieta looking on that bottom side. Take a look at Craig Marizon back up here with our leader, and he has got about half a second lead over Claudio Bardelli Jr. 9 laps in, a lot of laps to go. And I'll tell you what, Vieta has gotten around Gaston LaCourcy, and now making it happen here with Dennis Udichin. Udichin on the high side as Archer Vieta is on the move in that NASCAR BR sponsor Camaro. Holy smokes. Going back to Cali is LL Cool J. So Fireball Flash has got to up his rap game, man. That's LL Cool J, baby. So Archie Vieta now closing in on Eugene Fedorov. Marizon likes where he's at. Claudio Bardelli Jr. in 2nd in the 19. Let's see if we can look it out of the back of Marizon's machine. And Archibald again on the move as he's down battling Eugene Fedorov. Vieta is he's passed 3 cars here in about 2 laps, and he is looking pretty solid. Getting around Fedorov. You see Fedorov in the 84 diving out to the inside trying to get this spot back. Vieta not having anything of it. He is going to take that spot and now sets his sights on Sean Jacobs in a Kubota spot for number 24. Jesus Iglesias and Gaston LaCourcy. Jesus in the 22 Orange Crush spots we've seen. Gaston doing a great job on his first race out with us here. He messaged me earlier today, or he joined earlier today and asked about racing, and we got him set up. I was actually at work doing some of that stuff. So now Jesus looking to try to get around Dennis Udichin. Archer Vieta now battling Dan Richter. Whoa! Little Ford versus Chevy as Fedorov trying to figure out who he wants to go with. And he's going to stick with his Chevy teammates. As now Archer Vieta, no, he's rolling up on Givaldo. And Givaldo holding on to that spot. Givaldo is in the 5th position. Kersey and Udichin battling. Udichin way up on the high side as LaCourcy in the 3X car on this bottom side, and he squeezes through. Wow. Good bit of driving there. Look at this. Archie Vieta now closing in on Givaldo. Givaldo way up the track, and he's smacking the wall. Givaldo makes a little kiss to the wall there. And the 4 gets by. That's going to leave the door open, I think, for Dan Richter. Richter going down to the bottom side. As you see Dan Richter getting by. Claudio Bardelli Jr. in the 19. Battling Craig Marizon. Marizon to the inside as Claudio Bardelli Jr. in the Sober Tom sponsored Ford gets back by Craig Marizon. I don't know if this battle's over, though. Marizon has been lightning fast here tonight. But I think maybe that 19 might have backed off early on to save those tires. These guys are breaking away from the field. And it's getting serious back here. Now Givaldo finds himself in a little bit of a hornet's nest right now. There's a 24, Sean Jacobs getting through. Sean Jacobs in that Kubota sponsored machine. Looking pretty solid here tonight. He's running in the 7th position. Jesus might have made contact with the wall just ahead of him. On board here with Sean Jacobs looking out of the back of his car. I see Gaston LaCourcy getting by Givaldo. Now out of the front, and he has got a whole lot of Jesus down to the bottom side, and Sean Jacobs going to get by. Now sets his sights on Eugene Fedorov. Dennis Udichin and Eugene. Oh! Dennis Udichin and Givaldo Spindola here mixing it up as Eugene on the bottom side. Givaldo trying to hold on to that spot with dear life. He's gotten into the wall. And Udichin still putting some pressure on him. But Givaldo way up the wall. Man, he is flirting with that outside line. You see the speed that he gets coming off the corners using the outside line. It just gives you a little bit of boost to speed compared to those guys that are running the middle to the bottom lane. And you see Givaldo going way up the high line again. See Dennis closing in. Now Givaldo's going to get a run coming off. And not as great a run as he did on the front stretch. But he inches ahead, and now Eugene going to try it again. Oh, and Givaldo flirting around, and that might have done that as Dennis Udichin has that spot. Wow, that was a great little battle there. Archie Vieta now closing in on Givaldo. On Gordon Carter. I don't even know who I'm talking about right now. Arthur Vieta getting around Gordon Carter. As also behind, we got a good racing here. There's Gordon Carter holding on to that spot, but Arthur Vieta, or excuse me, Dan Richter trying to get through. Arthur Vieta is in the third position. Bardelli Jr. is the leader. Praying for him. Here we go. Danilo, hey, man. We haven't seen you in a long time. Good to see you out. Chatting it up here, watching the race. Appreciate you being in here. Look at this. This Jesus praying for you. Jesus Iglesias, the 22, and that's a car that I painted for him. I gave him a black paint scheme, just exactly like that, except the white part is black. So I think, I don't know, it depends on the day. I think I like the black version a little bit better because it shows the logos a little bit better, but it's still a cool car, I think. Kind of threw that together. Take a look at Jesus Iglesias, or excuse me, Dan Richter and Sean Jacobs side by side. Great little four-way battle here. So Sean Jacobs, Dan Richter, Craig Marazon, and Gordon Carter, who's leading that pack. He's running in the third position in that high place moving sponsor machine. We've been green 22 laps in. Good to see things are going well for you. You know, you're always welcome here. We'd love to see you back out on the track. But we know how life is. Life gets in the way sometimes, and glad things are, hey, traveling's pretty awesome, too. I wish I got to travel a lot. You see that battle there behind Dan Richter. We're on board here with Gordon Carter. He's got his hands full. Is the 24 going to get by? Gordon Carter lets the 24, doesn't fight him too much. That Kubota sponsor machine. Now up to the fourth position. Sean Jacobs in P4 in that brand new paint scheme. Another one of those great paint schemes by Franco Alvarez. Eugene Fedorov and Gaston LeCourcy here battling it out. Fedorov in the 84, LeCourcy in that temporary paint scheme, that 3X. Fedorov going to hold on to that spot, but LeCourcy here keeping him honest in that 3X machine. His battle is for the seventh position. Right now, Fedorov holding on to that. LeCourcy really sneaking around on that bottom side. I got Eugene Fedorov just Craig Marazon just ahead in that 60 car. LeCourcy, you see the run he gets, and see here you get coming off, you're going to have an advantage here on the outside line. You see right there, he's got the draft, of course, but the inside line is good through the corners, but you end up scrubbing off some speed because you don't get the room that you need to be able to use all that track. And Fedorov now going to try to go to the bottom line here. We're going to be three wide if we don't watch it. Eugene Fedorov in that 84 car. We're hearing some guys are now thinking about coming down pit lane, and the first one coming down pit lane is the 22 of Jesus Iglesias. Again, our leader is the 56, or excuse me, the 19. I've got too much going on, man. So now Bardelli Jr. indicating he's going to be coming down pit lane. So some pit stops underway. Sean Jacobs on pit lane. Take a look at our side-by-side view here as the race leader. Claudio Bardelli Jr. giving up the race lead to come down pit lane. Sean Jacobs on pit lane. Take a look at Arthur Vieta still out on the track. He's the leader. Dan Richter is in second. Bardelli Jr. giving up the race lead to come down pit lane. Sean Jacobs has finished up his pit stop. The 24 now taking that access road out. 28 laps in. Caution free. And look at that. Vieta now peeling off the track to come down pit lane. And that's going to give the race lead to Dan Richter. Jacobs now back out on the track. Take a look at Bardelli, our pole setter, on pit lane. And I can't help but think that Dan Richter is going to have to come down pit lane here really, really soon. Bardelli Jr. finishing up his pit stop. And it does look like that Dan Richter is on the access road. So he's going to be making a pit stop. And at 22, you see Gaston LaCourcie coming down pit lane as well, but Dan Richter shown as the race leader. And the 22 got flagged with speeding. He sped on pit lane, and he has got a drive-through. So you see Jesus Iglesias coming down pit lane, drive-through for Jesus. Oh, man, that is devastating. That is devastating. Here under green flag conditions, the 30, Jesus Iglesias. He's been a bad boy. Barbecue. We call him Barbecue. Team Barbecue, Jesus Iglesias. His pork chops are burned, baby. His crew is yelling at him about speeding coming down pit lane, and the penalty for that is a drive-through penalty under green conditions. Back out on the track after serving that drive-through. Now finds himself in the 11th position, one lap down. He is in the lucky dog spot. Bardelli Jr., the race leader. This guy, time and time again, seems to have that car up front every race he shows up. He knows he knows how to drive these cars. He knows how to tweak on these cars. To figure out what he needs to do. His track bar adjustments, 2-tire, 4-tire stop, positioning, when to pit. The guy just has a high race IQ. Best time of the race here so far, 31.997 by Dan Richter. Sean Jacobs shown in the second position after pit stops. Gordon Carter just behind him. Take a look at that battle there, Gordon Carter and Sean Jacobs. Got a attempt to separate the two of those guys. Gordon Carter a little bit higher line through that corner. Dan Richter shown in fourth. Rounding out the top five is Craig Marizon. Haven't talked too much about Craig Marizon here since he was leading some laps, but good to see Craig out, one of our Michigan drivers. Got quite a few Michigan drivers in my Discord server. Grant Owen, they have their race league on Monday nights, Happy Hour Racing League from the Michigan, the state of Michigan. As Marizon, he's living over on that the pinky side of the glove, or the ring finger side, not the middle finger side. I don't think he lives there. Those people are always mad. Just kidding. I'm just trying to make a joke, man. Now I'm going to have a bunch of people from Michigan send me emails. See Bardelli Jr. going by. Good three-way battle there. Look at Gordon Carter. He's in the he's the meat in the sandwich. Looking ahead at Sean Jacobs in the second position. Gordon Carter running in third. Richter just behind in the fourth position. Good battling here. That second pack now starting to tighten up there. Marizon was a little bit out there by himself, but Jesus running with him now. Jesus is a lap down in the lucky dog spot. Got caught speeding on pit lane. Need to find like I used to have an animated like police officer or something that would come up and somebody did that. I think I did away with that, but I need to bring that back out, huh? Somebody gets caught speeding. Thanks for joining me here and on TurnLeftTV, watching the race tonight. 22 laps, 37 laps in, watching the 22 car. And Bardelli Jr., the leader. Battling here, a good battle here on the track. Dennis Judic and Gaston Lecursi. Lecursi up the track a little bit. He might have made contact with that outside wall as Dennis Judic makes the pass. Lecursi now back in the 9th position. And I apologize to Gaston if I'm mispronouncing his name. I didn't hear him say anything in TeamSpeak today. And we did chat a little bit through Discord chat, text chat here. So if mispronouncing the name, I'm sure he'll let me know. But we want to welcome him in his 3X car. Good to see him. And we don't know much about him yet. He just joined today and got out on the track. So he's got a, pretty savvy here as far as getting content and, getting race ready. So no nonsense. Got the TeamSpeak downloaded. Got all that stuff that he needed. And we were able to get him set up. And welcome to the Buschwackers Series, High Octane Racing League. Bardelli Jr. now rolling up on Givaldo, and this could be a big deal for Jesus because Givaldo is the last car on the lead lap, and he is just ahead. And it looks like Bardelli Jr. is going to be catching him really, really soon. And when he does, that's going to put Givaldo in the lucky dog position. Dennis Judic, Artur Vieta, and Eugene Fedorov here battling. I'm just a hot mess today. This NASCAR BR sponsored machine now getting around Fedorov. And Fedorov's got a cool little paint scheme there. What's it say on the back of it? Overslept or something? Let's take a look at that. We'll pop the camera out here and take a look at the back of his car. I think it says overslept. Wake up. Overslept. That might be something I've sent him through Discord before. That's why he's giving me a hard time right there. That's a little stab at me, I think. Right there. Overslept. I noticed. Good battle there as Artur Vieta picks up that spot. He's now in 6th. Fedorov is in 7th. Good little battle here between Chevy versus Ford. Fedorov not going away. This guy's a great IndyCar driver. He loves stock cars. Racing GT3 with us before. He's not going away. He's not going to let Vieta get away from him. Bardelli Jr. in control, closing in on the tail end of the lead lap car, and that's the 68. Givaldo Spindola and Claudio Bardelli Jr. Givaldo on that inside line at 68. Now, he wants to hold on to the lead lap. I mean, he's not going to race Claudio too hard. I mean, these guys are friends. He's not going to push the envelope here to stay on the lead lap. But there's not a huge incentive for him to because, look, he's going to be the lucky dog position if he does get passed here by the 19 car. We got a great battle here as Dan Richter, Gordon Carter, and Sean Jacobs battling it out. And look at that, Dan Richter going to the high side. We know him to love that high side. And he has got to run. He's gotten around Gordon Carter. Now sets his sights on Sean Jacobs. Take a look at Gordon Carter in that 4th position as Dan Richter now sets his sights on Sean Jacobs, and Jacobs now has to tuck in as Richter picks up that spot. Sean Jacobs now falling back to P3 as Richter picks up that spot. We'll take a look at that pass. Dan Richter on the move. Take a look at this pass. This on replay. As Richter going to the high side. I just mentioned how he is really, really good on that high side. It takes a little bit of intestinal fortitude to get the car up on that high line and keep it up there because the wall's so close. I mean, it can turn around and bite you, and it has. I mean, all of us have been there, including Dan. But he is a great driver, and he's really, really good at these tracks where, you have multiple lanes, and that high line is, just a little bit better. And he uses that to get around Sean Jacobs. Now Jacobs back to P3 in that Kubota, number 24, Camaro. Sean Jacobs, I have known Sean since somewhere around 2000, maybe 2004, 5, 6, somewhere around there. It's been a long time. And that's how long we've been a part of High Octane Racing League in some form or fashion. Now, we take breaks now and then. I know Sean and I talk about this once in a while. I took a break to get my my master's degree. And, here we are back at it. And somehow meeting each other again to race. We've been doing this for a while now. Sean, always pretty level-headed dude. He doesn't lash out, doesn't get too bent out of shape about too much. Take a look at this. Craig Marizon now closing in. He's gotten around Gordon Carter. We missed that pass, but now sets his sights on Sean Jacobs. We're going back to live here. And Magpul Dynamics sponsored machine. Now getting around Sean Jacobs. I don't know why we got to look at it from the hood view, but we do. There you go. We see Craig Marizon at the wheel. Art Vieta now closing in on Gordon Carter. So look at that. Vieta has really run down these guys from pretty far back, and he's gotten around Gordon Carter and now sets his sight. He's going to get a 2-for-1 here. He's going to get a 2-for-1. Art Vieta is on the move. Vieta did not have the greatest of pit stops. He is battling Sean Jacobs, and he's going to pull off that pass. He gets around Jacobs and Carter in a hurry. He's setting his sights on Craig Marizon. Rolling up on halfway now. And Vieta now up to P4. Sean Jacobs back to the 5th position. Claudio Bardelli Jr. is the leader, but that lead is 3.5 seconds. Our lucky dog position is Givaldo Spindola. Jesus in a little bit of trouble there as far as that lucky dog, so he's going to have to try to close in and past Givaldo, but he's got about a 12-second gap to do so. Art Vieta now battling Craig Marizon, and he caught Craig Marizon in a hurry. Once he got around Sean Jacobs, he really rolled up on Craig Marizon in a hurry. So this NASCAR BR sponsored number 4 car now back up to P3 and setting his sights on Dan Richter. It's about a 5-second gap, almost a 6-second gap between the 4 and the 65 of Dan Richter. Dennis Uterchin is on pit lane. A little bit of an early pit stop here for Dennis Uterchin. So Dennis Uterchin is on pit lane, and I don't know if that's an unscheduled pit stop or if he's trying some strategy here, but the 47 is on pit lane. He's now finishing up his pit stop. And maybe pitting a little bit earlier, because now I'm starting to hear from some of the other guys that they're coming down pit lane as we're on board here with Dennis Uterchin. He comes around that access road. So leading the charge to come down pit lane. I'm hearing Claudio Bardelli Jr. is going to be coming down pit lane as well. Don't forget the High Octane Racing League Tough Truck Series, the Craftsman Tough Truck Series, will be at Iowa this Tuesday for race number 9 of a 10-race season. It's 125 laps from Iowa on Tuesday, November the 12th. So Bardelli Jr. indicating he is going to come down pit lane. Sean Jacobs is on pit lane. Fedorov, indicating he's going to be coming down pit lane. So pit lane busy. And here we go, Bardelli Jr. on the access road to make a pit stop here on lap 54. And that gives the race lead to Dan Richter. Bardelli Jr. making a pit stop. Jacobs finishing up his pit stop, coming back out on track. It's Dan Richter, our leader in the 65. Dan Richter, a Purdue University student. He's going to school for nursing, if I'm not mistaken. Artur Dieta on pit lane. Coming off track to come down pit lane, it looks like. Also, Gordon Carter, Eugene Fedorov, Givaldo Spindle all on pit lane as we see Claudio Bardelli Jr. finishing up his pit stop. Saturday Night Thunder will be in action tomorrow night at Phoenix, race number 2 of the season. And it's a 120-lap race. That starts at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the Cup Cars. The Phoenix Raceway track is a lot of fun as we see Dan Richter now coming off the track to come down pit lane, and it's the Saturday Night Thunder Cup Series. So Richter on pit lane here in the 65 car. And I tell you what, man, that may give the race lead to our new driver here, Gaston Lecursi. In the 3X. Gaston now rolling up on, oh, Dan Richter gets a penalty. Oh, no. Dan Richter is a naughty boy. Speeding penalty for Dan Richter. And he is going to have to come back down pit lane. Oh, my heavens, man. So Dan Richter in the 65. Oh, no. Speeding. The speed gun was not his friend, and he is coming back down pit lane to do a drive-through. Lecursi now peeling off the track to come down pit lane to make his pit stop. But Dan Richter is on pit lane, and his pit crew is not happy. They are livid. So Richter now does his drive-through, coming back out. Oh, my heavens, man. He's at the tail end of the lead lap, and he's going to end up losing a lap, I think. Bardelli Jr. just crossing the start-finish line, so he's got a little bit of room to breathe here. But he's going to need some help. Wow. That did not work out well for Dan Richter. And we'll kind of get an idea where he's at compared to where the race leader's at. We'll go here to Dan Richter. He is on the tail end of the lead lap. They just crossed the start-finish line. Take a look here as you see Bardelli Jr. not too far behind right there. See, there's Dan Richter, and just behind him is the race leader right there. Dan Richter is looking in his rearview mirror and said, please don't catch me. And here's our race leader. Let's take a look at it on the front of his machine. Right there, Dan Richter, tail into the lead lap after doing a drive-through. Richter wants to get around Lecursi and Udichin. He's got a chance here. He's got a chance to put a little breathing room between he and Claudio Bardelli Jr. He's closing in on Lecursi. Oh, and I think Udichin might have gotten into the wall. Udichin might have made contact with the wall. I saw him get a little squirrely in that 47 car. You see those three coming around. Look at that, man. Three guys there on the tail end of the lead lap, and both those, or all three of those guys are going to fight to stay on the lead lap. Who wants to beat up on who? Now, Dan Richter now closing in on LaCourcie. And Richter going to the bottom side. LaCourcie in the Camaro on the outside line. And now, Gaston is at the tail end of the lead lap. As Richter gives himself a little bit of breathing room. And now closing in on Dennis Yudichyn. So he goes to the high side. Yudichyn had gotten into the wall in that Toyota. And Richter in the Ford going to get by. Some more breathing room. He's up to P6. And those guys getting racy behind as well. So LaCourcie and Yudichyn batting it out. Yudichyn on the outside is LaCourcie getting by right there. And Yudichyn now in that danger zone. We focused on those guys that tail end the lap. And 9 seconds back to the race leader is the 4 of Artur Vieira. And you get a little bit of traffic up there for Bardelli, and that can help Vieira out. So he's 9.1 seconds back. He's going to need a little bit of help. Take a look at Gordon Carter and Sean Jacobs. Good battle here between the two of these guys. Gordon Carter going down to the bottom side. And Gordon Carter backs off. He's going to try to pass him another way, maybe going to the high side. See if that iPlace moving sponsor machine can get it up on the high side. That's a bit of a stretch. Gordon Carter running in 5th. Sean Jacobs is in the 4th position. Marizon, haven't heard too much out of him as of late, but he's out there by himself. Running in 3rd, he is 2.7 seconds off of P2. Let's see if we can't get an idea of what that looks like. Right there, 2.6 seconds, 2.7. Looks to be a little bit faster than Vieira. Not a ton, but a little bit. Maybe about a tenth or so faster than Vieira. Vieira has not been able to chip away at that lead. We'll take a look here at that gap between Vieira and Bardelli Jr. And it's 9.1, 9.1. Maybe that passing right there of Yudichyn has caused Bardelli to scrub off a little bit of speed. So now you're looking at down about 8.7 or so. And maybe Vieira's got to get by the same people that Bardelli's gotten by. Jesus Iglesias, boy, he really had a tough night here. Got a lap down early. He just let Eugene Fedorov go by. Eugene now in the 6th position, but Jesus running in that 11th spot in the 22. Got a speeding penalty early on and has really, not been able to capitalize on some of the problems that the other drivers have had throughout the course of this race. 22 Orange Crush sponsored Camaro running in the 11th spot. But talking about Eugene Fedorov, I mentioned earlier, he's a really cool guy, man. You can tell by the paint scheme, it's a little bit of a jab for me, and I sent him messages on Discord. These race times for him, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning when he has to get up and get out here and race with us if he's going to race with us. So a big time difference. He lives in Russia, and that is a huge time difference. And so that's what that car means. Wake up and overslept on that. So what a great sense of humor. But I really appreciate him sharing his aspects of his life and, with his aspect of his family and so forth, his wife and kids, and those guys, going out to what he calls the villages and, kind of a, cabin out in the country and just enjoying nature, man. He's got a couple great looking dogs, Siberian Huskies, and, really admire, that family dynamic there by him. And sharing his life with us too. I really appreciate that. Lets me get to know these guys better. And Eugene, one of the good ones, man, really is. Well, Dan Richter has been able to hold on to that spot, but he has got LaCourcie now, who is climbing back up here. Richter really pushed that car to get around those guys and hold on to that, but now Gaston LaCourcie here in this 3X, and his first race out with us is having a good race, man. We've been caution-free. Don't mean to jinx it, but we've been caution-free here tonight. And that's a good thing, right? As LaCourcie is now starting to pressure Dan Richter. Richter in the 65. And looking out of the back of his car is Gaston just behind in that 8th position. Gaston seems pretty comfortable here in these stock cars in his first race out with us, and also up on the high side. Isabel Schilling and Tyler Talents. What? Oh my gosh. How about that? Some great folks there joining us in the chat. I know them. I think I know them from somewhere. I suspect. Somebody sits in the front row of my my AP Bio class. Isabel. Where's my candle? Where's my candle, man? Good to see Isabel and Tyler. What better things to do on a Friday night, huh? Stay at home and watch some YouTube videos of your teacher broadcasting a sim race. Bardelli Jr. is been able to sort of hold on to that lead. It was about 9.2 or so seconds, down to 9. So Vieta has not been able to chip into that lead. Marizon running in the 3rd position. Jacobs is in 4th. Gordon Carter in the 5th position. All right, Isabel, it's getting kind of stinky in my house. I'm going to need that candle. I can't remember what it was. It was like cinnamon apple caramel or something like that. I can't remember what it was. You'll have to remind me. Whatever it was, I was excited about it. Now I just can't remember. I get excited about a lot of things. Peterson off the track to come down pit lane here in the 47 car. Peterson, another one of those guys getting up early in the morning, gets up about 3 o'clock in the morning to race with us, and he is from Kharkiv, Ukraine. Dennis, one of my great friends, racing in the Toyota. I call it the Bugs Bunny car. Got a kind of a funky paint scheme on that. So Yudichin now giving up a position to come down pit lane. He is on pit lane now. And you know these guys are going to have to make another pit stop. You know that's going to happen. Bardelli Jr.'s lead down to 8.5 seconds. Now dipping back up there about 8.8, closing in on 9. But Vieta is closing in a little bit. All it takes is one little mishap on pit lane, and this is a new race. We have been caution-free, 78 laps in. Take a look at Givaldo in the 68 car. Got himself a lap down. He is in the lucky dog spot. Oh, no! Whoa, man, you couldn't put a piece of popcorn between those two guys. Oh, my heavens, man. Holy smokes. Oh, he made that interesting. He drifted up, used all the track until he got to the high place moving spots machine. And that'll rattle your cage. Dan Richter closing in on Eugene Fedorov. Richter, Purdue University student, getting around Eugene Fedorov. So the Boom Boo Rub sponsored machine, the 65 car, now taking over the 6th position. And LaCourcie is going to try to follow him through. Kersey to the inside. He's getting around Eugene Fedorov. Fedorov falling back to 8th. Well, Kersey up to 7th, and he is really starting to put some pressure on Dan Richter. Sean Jacobs on pit lane here in the 24 car. 4 tires and fuel for that Kubota-sponsored Camaro. Take a look at Sean Jacobs. He's taking service on his car. He's finished up taking service. Coming back out on track. Hopefully not speeding. Got a couple people here tonight speeding. And our race leader, Claudio Bardelli Jr., on the access road to come down pit lane. You got to be really careful not to speed on board here with him. So our race leader, Sober Tom sponsored Ford, and that is Claudio Bardelli Jr. I think Vieta is on pit lane too, so Vieta's hoping to have a little bit better pit stop here and get some cheap points. Not points per se, but a cheap way to be able to close the gap on Bardelli. Have a little bit better pit stop. Kersey now back to the race lead here in this 3X car. He's going to have to come back down to pit lane. You know that. And I think these guys are good to go. Now, you're looking at 18 laps to the finish. Marky Vieta now back out on track. And let's see how much he's been able to close that gap. I think he's about 8 or 9 seconds back, so not really been able to chip into that as far as Bardelli Jr. Gordon Carter now up to the 6th position as Givaldo heads down pit lane. Gordon Carter, High Place Moving sponsored machine, racing all the way from Canada. A lot of Canadian drivers, man. I didn't really realize how much the Canadian folks love racing. I thought it was just all about hockey up there. 56 car now picking up another spot. So Gordon Carter is in the 6th position. Actually, it looks like Gaston, still our race leader, 16-second lead, but I would imagine he's going to have to come down pit lane. I mean, those guys have made their final pit stops, but I think Gaston's a little bit off sequence. Bardelli Jr. is closing pretty fast in this Sober Tom sponsor machine. He is now down to 15 seconds back, so he is closing in pretty quickly. Does he have enough time? If Gaston can make it to the end, which I suspect he cannot, is he going to be able to have enough time? He's down to 14 seconds, but I'll tell you what, that's clicking off in a hurry. So Gaston may be doing some fuel save strategy here. Hear that? Maybe. And it looks like Gaston is coming down pit lane on board here with him. So as he sees on that access road, you got to be really careful, man. If you drive it too fast, you get into that grass, you are in big trouble. And Gaston now making his pit stop, and that's going to give the race lead to Claudio Bardelli Jr. Marizon is back about 8 seconds back, and he's going to be in the 2nd position once things shake out. Vieta is in 3rd. Sean Jacobs is going to be 4th, I believe, once it shakes out. Gaston could do a 2-tire stop, man. That probably would not be a bad idea. And that could get you some cheap spots right there. So we take a look at Bardelli Jr. And Gaston now finishing up his pit stop, coming back out on track here on lap 88. Gaston now back to the tail end of that lead lap. So he is safe, so actually is now in the lucky dog position, so he's now one lap down in the lucky dog spot. That spells bad news for Dennis Uderchin, who wanted to be in that lucky dog spot. Mordelli Jr. has been able to extend that race lead, now in the high 9s, low 10s. And the battle really, for now, is in that second position. Archie Vieta and Craig Marizon. And I'll tell you what, can you find two better drivers to be battling it out for P2? Iglesias is on pit lane. He's had a tough night. Jesus has. He is making a late race pit stop, and he's shown in the 11th position. But I'll tell you what, these guys are setting themselves up for a fist fight here. We're approaching 10 laps to go. Vieta, I think, is a little bit faster than Marizon. Although Marizon, another one of those drivers that really likes that high line. But I think Vieta is a little bit faster. And a good battle here between the 60 and the 4. And the 4 sees an opening. You see Marizon was really up on the high side. We talked about that earlier. If you can make a good run up on the high side, you have an advantage coming off the corner. Compared to the guy that can dive below you on the inside line, he cannot really get the speed that he needs coming off the corner using the inside to be able to pass. So it's an interesting dynamic to watch here between the 60 and the 4. As we go back up here with Bardelli Jr. Take a look at that side-by-side view so we can get a gander at that battle there between Marizon and Vieta. And as long as those guys are going to race each other, Bardelli Jr. is in good shape. He has nothing to worry about with respect to that. Unless somebody gets in his way. You see Vieta there really wanting that outside line. Really wants that outside line. But Bardelli Jr. has nothing to worry about as far as these two guys unless there's a caution flag that comes out. We've been caution-free here. I don't mean to jinx it, but we've been caution-free. So it's looking pretty solid right now for these guys. Get a little bit of a hitch here for some reason out of the now look at that, Vieta going to the outside line. Vieta does, oh boy, if he can get that front end on the high side, and oh boy, if he can get that front end on the high side, this is a different ball game. And Vieta does. Vieta to the outside of Marizon. And Vieta picking up that spot using the outside line. Marizon gave him the room on the high side. And Vieta gets by. Whoa. Interesting pass. Let's take a look at that pass. You see Marizon goes down to the bottom line. And that, I don't know if that was by design or if that was just a mistake. But Vieta uses the high side as Marizon went down to the bottom side. And Vieta gets around. Vieta now in P2. And I think Vieta's a little bit faster than Craig. Don't count Craig Marizon out, man. He finds a... Wow! Craig Marizon to the outside. He got into the outside wall. Hard contact for the 60. That Magpul Dynamics Monster Machine got into the outside wall. Coming off turn 2. Wow. And that may have done it there for him. We go back to live here as the 19 looking pretty good for his chances of winning this race, isn't it? Now you see Gaston coming up here. Gaston in that 3X is 1 lap down. He is in the lucky dog position, but he has got fresher tires than the 19. If I were the 19, I would just let him go. Just message on the radio, let the guy go in case you do not want to race him and then end up in the wall. Give him the room he needs and let him go, and that's exactly what the 19 does. That shows you the race IQ of Claudio Bardelli Jr., the track awareness. He's coming down the front stretch, 2 laps to go. 19 Sober Tom sponsored Ford Mustang. Our race leader got about a 10-second lead over P2. Everybody's sort of where they are now. Not a lot of passing going on, but it kind of spread out. We have been caution-free. Across the start-finish line, we'll have 1 lap to go. Claudio Bardelli Jr. in the Sober Tom sponsored Ford Mustang. And we want to invite you over to his YouTube channel, Sober Tom Podcast. All things music. He is a samba expert. Look at this battle here going on in front. This could be big problems for Claudio. Those guys get into a scuffle just in front of him. Claudio Bardelli Jr. is going to come away with the victory here at Homestead. How about that? Claudio Bardelli Jr. getting the win. Look at that. What the hell is going on there? So the Sober Tom sponsored machine gets the race victory. We got to try to fly the drone around, get it in the right spot. So congratulations to Claudio on getting the win. And that Sober Tom sponsored Ford Mustang. A great battle there, a great finish for him. And we get a couple screenshots and pick out which one's the best. And he gets the win. Wow, what a great race there for him. No, and he gets that. Oh, my God. Yuchi went for a fly, didn't he? So congratulations to Claudio Bardelli Jr. Great job to everybody here tonight. Bardelli Jr. gets the win. So Bardelli Jr., the Vieira Bardelli Jr. battle throughout the race was a great one. A little bit of strategy there come into play. And Bardelli Jr. comes away with the win. You just got to have your game on if you're going to beat Claudio Bardelli Jr., man. That's all there is to it. You just got to have your ducks in a row and be able to beat Bardelli Jr. Let's take a look at the final results here before we get him up in the booth with us. If he's coming in the booth. There we go. Claudio Bardelli Jr. gets the win. Art Javetta finishes in P2. Craig Marizana finishes in the 3rd position. Shaw Jacobs 4th. Gordon Carter finishes in that 5th position. Good run there for him. Dan Richter finishes in 6th. Gaston LaCourse in his first race out finishes in 7th in that 3X car. Eugene Fedorov, 58th position. Dennis Schuderich in 9th. Givaldo Spindola finishes in the 10th position. And P11 tonight is Jesus Iglesias. So Bardelli Jr. getting the win. And, man, we got to see if we can't get his car a little bit better, better location there. That looks a little bit better here. We'll see if we get Claudio Bardelli Jr. here to join us. All right, we're joined here by Claudio Bardelli Jr. And man, what an interesting race! Caution-free race. He looks like he had a pretty good race there with Arthur Vieta, but pit stops worked out in your favor. Got a good lead there, good 10-second lead, and held on to it. You know, what was the race from your perspective?
Good race and good night first. And good race, clean race. The guys respected the side, the draft. In the enter the pits is very careful, but and when to brake, cold brakes, the car is very unstable. I try to maintain calm, but my guys in pit is very slow. But I believe Arthur is a problem in the pit. I will have to 2 and 3 seconds and maintain my tires is a problem in the track. It's a race clean. Racing this in Di Franco.
It looked like, you know, the high line, if you could really master that high line, it was really tough to get around the car. And were you thinking about that as you were, you know, say battling Arthur and some of the other drivers there? Craig Marizon had a good run here tonight, Sean Jacobs. Were you thinking about that when you were going around the track, that those guys come up on you, they're going to have to pass you on the low side?
Yes, I observed the low side is burn the tire in front tire, right? I try to maintain the line in the middle or a high line to maintain my tires, no burn tires. I believe the Craig in the first stint he's a problem in 2 tires, and Arthur a problem to pit and maintain my calm. I go to maintain the stance. Clean race, no problem for me.
Well, we got your Sober Tom sponsored machine in Victory Lane, and we got your logo up here. You can want to talk to your friends and the crowd out there who may not know what Sober Tom is all about. Can you help us out here and help those new guests who may be looking for a music channel to check out?
Thank you for divulgate and my channel in YouTube. I appreciate hard you. I say thank you for you.
Yeah, and it's in Portuguese, right? So but do you do closed captioning as well, so someone who maybe not speak Portuguese can kind of follow along with the conversation?
Yes, but I try to leave the podcast you to speak in Portuguese to me, okay?
All right. All right. Well, hey, man, I tell you, I really appreciate all your support here at High Octane Racing League. We, love having you race here. You've been a wealth of knowledge for us in this sim, and good luck to you the rest of the season, and great win to you. Parabéns.
Thank you, obrigado. And Brazilian drivers is say thank you for you and the HORL.
All right, we'll see you next week, buddy.
Thank you. Good night.
So that is Claudio Bardelli Jr. joining us here in the booth. And, been knowing Claudio for quite a while now, man. And he's one of those great guys out there. Really is a good influence. He's a good, guy in that crew that comes out from Brazil. I've got a bunch of friends in Brazil, man. And it's awesome to see how passionate these guys are about racing, too. All you got to do is mention Senna, Ayrton Senna, and they're like, what? What'd you say? Welcome to you're Brazilian now, baby. So, hey, Claudio, congratulations to you, and best of luck to you next week. It's going to be a little bit different track, so always appreciate you in Victory Lane and seeing you here on the track. It's a little bit different time zone, man. These guys are +2 from us now, so we changed time. It's after midnight there, so really appreciate those guys that came out and raced with us tonight south of the border there. Well, we got some more racing headed your way this weekend. We'll be at Phoenix Raceway tomorrow in the Saturday Night Thunder. It's race number 2 of the season in that Cup Series. That's right, the Cup cars, the big boys, will be out at Phoenix for a 120-lap race. The Saturday Night Thunder has been going on since 2001, man. So this is a long, storied series. I joined High Octane Racing League in 2001, and they were doing some pickup races as they transferred over to another sim. I think it was NASCAR 4 at the time, if I'm not mistaken. And we were doing some pickup races. It ended up being the Saturday Night Thunder, man. And here it is, still going strong on Saturday nights. It's race 2, and that's coming up tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, congratulations to Claudio Bardelli Jr. Thank you to everybody that came out and watched the YouTube channel, all those new subscribers. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't done so, and smash that bell. You get updates on when races are going live. That's going to do it for me tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. I am out of here.